Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about system families, and I wanted to just go over again sort of the basic layout of a family. You basically have a category, which for our system families we're going to work on wall, floor, and roof. And then we're going to work on a basic wall, and then we're going to create types of that wall. And a type is basically specific settings of parameters within that family. So that's what creates the type. So this is just generic. If we take a look at a wall family here, zoom in on it, the category would be wall, and then in this particular place the system family is basic wall. And then we're going to look at an exterior brick on CMU that has different settings of instance and type parameters that create that exterior brick on CMU. This is the type parameters dialog box, right? And this is the properties dialog box that has the instance parameters in it. And then from that type dialog box you can come in and access actually the structure of the wall as well, and we're going to take a look at that. Alright, and we're also going to do floors and roofs as well, but I wanted to take sort of just an overall look at how those things go together. Alright, so I am in Revit in just the basic architecture template here, and I'm going to go to wall pull down, and there is wall architectural. I'm going to select that. What that's going to do is it's going to take me and allow me to select different types of that wall category. So here's basic wall, and if I scroll down there's a curtain wall, and then below that, which you can't see unfortunately, is a stacked wall. So what I want to do is I want to pick exterior brick on CMU. So I'm going to left click on that, and it's going to allow me to create the wall. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and I'm going to left click and drag to the right, and then left click. Now it wants to keep creating a wall, but I'm just going to leave it as is and hit escape twice to stop that command. Now right now I'm in what's called a coarse detail level. Down here in the bottom left of your view control you can change it to a medium, and if you do that you're going to see the different layers of this brick on CMU wall. So if I pick this wall, you're going to see exterior brick on CMU, right? And so you're going to see the layers of that wall, right? So here's brick, that's an airspace, that is insulation, that's CMU, and then that's drywall or exfurring, and then drywall. These lines are very thick. If you want to get rid of those thick lines you can type TL and it will turn off the line weight basically, and you see that that gypboard is on furring strips. So how are these walls made? Let's take a look at sort of their internal logical structure. So I'm going to left click on this wall, go to edit type, bring out the type properties, and there's a structure here, and I'm going to go to edit structure, and you're going to see, I can't open this much bigger, hopefully get it big enough, so yeah, that you can see there's the, let's open this up a little wider, there's a common brick with 3 5/8. There's a thermal air layer that's 3 inches. So if I move that over, you can basically go through this and go brick common, air, rigid insulation. There's a membrane layer, a damp proofing membrane layer that has no thickness there. And then the structure is what's actually holding the wall up, right? So the concrete masonry is here. And then there's metal furring of 1 5/8 right there. And then the finish is the gypsum wallboard right there. Okay, so you see that this is how the wall is constructed, and how Revit understands it. There are a couple of other options that we're going to go over in here a little later, but I just want to give you a basic idea. So I'm going to hit cancel on this, and then if we take a look here, you'll see that that structure is actually creating the width of that wall. Here's the function of the wall, there's a coarse scale, fill pattern, and some different information here. Alright, so that's a basic sort of structure of the wall, so I'm going to click OK. Now, if I go into my south elevation, or let's go into our north elevation. Alright, so there's that wall, and if I zoom in on it, you're going to be able to see that brick. If I select this wall, if we look over in the properties dialog, which is basically our instance parameters, you're going to see that that base constraint is level 1, so the wall is hosted on this level 1. Alright, so if I were to pick level 1 and move level 1, that wall is going to move with it. Alright, now if we look at the top constraint, so pick the wall again, top constraint is unconnected. I can actually come down and constrain it to level 2, and now if I change the plate height from 10 feet to 20 feet, hit enter, that wall is going to follow that. So you're going to see that you can have these constraints on the wall. So imagine if you had a building that you needed to change the the plate height by 1 foot and you had everything constrained in this way, then the whole building would just expand for you, which would be great. Okay, all right, so you can do that. You can also see you have a base offset and a top offset, so I could do like 2 feet here, and it will just, now that 2 foot offset is still connected to level 2, right? So there's lots of different ways that you can constrain these. You can also use these arrows to pull things down and align them and lock them, and you'll see that that base, that offset is now gone now that I've done that. Now let's take a look at one other thing. If you select this and you see this edit profile up here, you can select on edit profile, and it's basically going to give you the profile of that wall, and you can do multiple things with that. You can come in and draw a line that clips that wall and then trim it out, right, and then hit check, and now that wall, even though it remembers the old bit of it, is actually now, right, clipping that. So you can make custom shapes out of it. I'm going to go back to my level 1 plan. If you pick the wall, just like a lot of things in Revit, you get different options. Like you see this little flip, you can flip it back and forth when you're drawing a wall. So if I go to wall architectural again, if I'm drawing a wall and I want it to flip while I'm drawing, I can hit the space bar and it'll flip it back and forth, which is handy. Okay, so basically what I want you to understand is, if I go back to my north elevation, right, that what a wall is, if we go to edit profile, is it is a bounding line that is extruded, and then it in plan it slices up that extrusion based on the structure. And then there are other things that you can do to it, such as edit this profile. You can also, if I hit check, if you go to a wall, you're going to see wall sweep, and it's going to allow you to put like a wall sweep in there. And if I go to architecture, wall, there's a wall reveal, right? And you can do a wall reveal. So let's take a look at those in 3D, right? So these are basically profiles, right, that have been added or subtracted to this extruded wall. Okay, so, and you can also add these in another place as well, but that's just a quick way. So basically what you have is an extruded outline that has a division based on structure, and then you can add these sweeps that either add or subtract to this extrusion. So that's sort of the basic makeup of a wall. If you want to explore it a little further, going into edit type and structure, in the other tutorials we go in and create a wall. Alright, so I'm going to hit cancel, and